Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube! My name is SeaRaptor, and today we're bringing you yet another battle report from the bridge of Tier 7 German Premium Destroyer, Z-39. I have probably what is considered to be a bit of an unnatural, unhealthy love affair of this ship. I really enjoy it. I feel like the German destroyers with the 150mm guns, like Z-39, like Z-23, are just badly misunderstood. And I think they're fantastic ships, so I really enjoy the hell out of them. I enjoy playing them. This ship, of course, comes with its own little perks, given that it's a Tier 7 Premium, but it can equip the concealment module, concealment upgrade module, meaning that it can get its detection down to 6.1 kilometers at Tier 7, which for a Tier 7 destroyer is pretty good, kids. And it comes, of course, with 5-kilometer hydro, quick reloading torpedoes, and if you take Survivability Expert, oops, sorry about that, a touch over 22,000 hit points, which, again, for a mid-tier destroyer is ridiculous. Given the opportunity, this ship can bully other destroyers just on the health pool alone. Spawning here is bottom tier, of course, onto the south side of Loop. Now, I'm doing something that I wouldn't ordinarily do, and that is I'm going to start off by going into the B cap early, or at least kind of edging this direction. One of the reasons I did this, I looked on the opposing team, and I looked over and I saw they only have the one radar, that lone Buffalo. That's the only guy who can really pick me out. There are a couple of other ships on there that I'm not excited to run into, perhaps in a gunfight, the Fantask and the Friesland, but you see the Fantask has already been picked up over at the C cap. And there's the Vauquelin, headed over towards the A cap. Don't yet know where the Friesland is, but I'm willing to take a risk here. We're going to work at the bottom of this cap and get kind of in a position where I can bail out of here quickly if the opportunity arises, or if the need to do so arises, let's say. So in the meantime, we're just going to sit here and do our thing, chilling out, capping. Chungmu and Fantask have kind of turned each other away over at the C cap. Quite a bit of support over at the C cap. A lot of friendly ships going that way, as the Akizuki and the Itago on our team do manage to bag the A cap. We're about halfway done here, picking up B. Hopefully nobody will bother me and I can be on my merry way and out of here shortly. Still looking for that Buffalo. Have not seen him yet. Kind of look around. There, okay, the Friesland and the Vauquelin are now over at A. So the Akatsuki is the only other one that we might run into, and it's a safe bet, given that the Vauquelin, he's divvied up with the Vauquelin. The Vauquelin's at A. The Akatsuki is probably over there as well. Well, it's going to work out for me to bag this cap, so B is ours. We have a quick 2-cap lead as 3 minutes are gone. And but there is a lot of firepower, a lot of enemy firepower over at A against just a Gneiss and a Tago and Akizuki. Now, this Blyskawica and I are kind of playing the B cap. He's in the gap there between A and B. I'm, of course, in the B cap, kind of getting turned around to head over in that direction. Most of our team has gone to C. So what's going to happen now as this game evolves over the next several minutes, what you're going to see is essentially the guys over on the western flank are going to try and become a holding action, right? We have to try and slow them down, inflict as much damage as we can, lest they just steamroll right through the middle of the map and crush my other flank from astern. There's the Buffalo. He's way over at C. Definitely don't have to worry about him now. That's good. So the Akizuki is camped out in the A-cap. This is something that I don't necessarily recommend, by the way, because the A-cap on Loop is a great place. It's a trap, right? You get stuck in there, and it's hard to get out. But from my perspective, one of the best things that could have happened here does happen. The Akizuki gets in a gunfight with the Friesland. These two guys just need to savage each other. I don't want to run into the Friesland. I mean, that's not a gunfight I want to win. Sorry, that's not a gunfight I think I can win. And these two guys need to just wipe each other out. And right now, hilariously, that seems like what's going to happen. Akizuki's upside down, not trading well, but he gets some really good hits here. Lots of shells going in both directions as both ships go off the board. And you know what? From my perspective as a bottom tier destroyer, I am totally happy with that trade, because now I don't have to worry about that Friesland. He is somewhere else, as in a different game. I dumped my torpedoes, initially thinking that he might continue to try to run north and I might get lucky, might be able to help the Akizuki out, but in the end it wasn't necessary. As for a moment, for a very, very short window of time, we're going to own all 3 cap circles. That is not going to last, however, of course. There are too many ships on this flank. You see our Gaede now, for some reason, 5 minutes in, is on the one line. I have no idea why he thinks that's a good idea. He'll be dead momentarily as this sign-up starts to charge in. And so, while we do own 3 caps, we are upside down on ships already, and it's time to start playing basically a kiting action, right? This is we have to slow roll these guys. This is going to be a challenge for us to try and keep them from just steamrolling through the middle of the board and making a huge mess of the rest of the team. I took a cheap shot there at the Valkyland because I had it. I wasn't sure if anybody would be able to spot me. Sure enough, the sign-up had somebody able to spot me south of this smoke, but he's continuing to move south, so I leave him a present as the Massachusetts rams the Gneisenau off the board. What is even happening in this game? Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Okay. The Otago to my south is very, very beat up. We're upside down. 2 ships. We're going to lose A. Nothing can stop that now. The Valkyland is over there behind the island, so I have no shots, no way to reset him. I might land a torpedo on this sign-up. That would give us a small amount of reset points, but that's about all I can realistically hope for at this stage. And it looks like I am going to put a couple of torpedoes into the sign-up. Yep. Yep. Couple of torps, couple of floods, but it's not enough, as we're now upside down 3 ships, just like that. Barely, what is it, 6.5 minutes gone? 5.5 minutes gone. Whatever it is, we haven't been in the game very long, and we're already down 3 ships. Now, the sign-up is continuing to flood, which feels good. I throw some shells in that direction to see if I can punish him a little farther, but I do get a fire. But before too much longer, he is going to push his little repair button and put an end to all of that. So now, for the moment, it's me, the Otago, and the Blyskawica here to essentially just try and hold back and stem the flood of enemy ships coming off the one line. This is going to feel pretty awful for a while, but it is what it is. Team on the other end of the map did manage to claw back a kill. We're only upside down 2 ships now, as we have a small lead because of our early cap advantage. That sign-up that I torpedoed the bejesus out of, he's bailed to get some cover. I don't blame him. That's actually a very, very smart play on his part. As I'm kind of in a long-range gun duel with this Valkyland, which is perhaps not the smartest thing I've ever done. But I figure, well, might as well, try and get some shells down on this guy. I have a pretty significant health advantage. But my friendly Otago goes and gets himself killed. And so now we're back to a 3-ship deficit again. So literally on the western half of this map right now, it's me and the Blyskawica. And that is it, kids. That is all that is holding back this flood of enemy ships from pushing right into B. So we've got a lot of work to do. My torpedoes only have an 8.5 kilometer range, but I throw them out there, figuring that I might be able to get something into that Nelson. The Akatsuki, who pops up astern of me, has outsmarted me a little bit, and yeah, I don't play this very well, and I do manage to eat 1, but at least not 2. 2 would have put me off the board. But I only eat 1, so I am still in the game, as we manage to claw back yet another ship over on the 9 line. Again, clinging to a small lead here because of the cap advantage, but we are upside down of ships, and there's a lot of stuff coming this direction, so we got to be frosty. There are the Valkyland torpedoes, but those are going to run out here before too much longer. They shouldn't have too much range. Yep, there we go. So as we cut back into the center, the Bliss has taken up a position where he's got a little bit of island cover. You see him there on the 4 line. He's playing games, spotting, throwing shells, throwing torpedoes. He snuggled up to that island right there in about G4. And that's actually a really good spot for him. I need to stay down here to the south and try to get him some eyes on things. And between the 2 of us, we might have a shot at making a dent in this enemy fleet. Enemy Nelson appears again as he's continuing to move, continuing to push towards me, continuing to push south. I am going to lead these torpedoes, when they're done reloading, of course, about 10 more seconds here. My goal is to get those onto him just as soon as I can. You see the Bliss's torpedoes there on the screen, already headed that direction. And there we go, got those downrange on the Nelson. Once again, I'm kind of picking a bit of a gunfight with this Valkyland. This is more about me wanting to help the Bliss out. I don't want the Bliss to have all the heat to himself, because I can still smoke, I can still hydro. I've got 6,000 hit points over here. Don't ignore me, senpai. I'm gonna make you acknowledge my existence over here. I smoke up, which kind of defeats the purpose of me being over here for spotting reasons. But it does mean that I'm able to survive, which right now is far more important than anything else. Now, to our credit, our team has pushed the Donskoy and the Chungmu back into B so that the enemy team can't just walk into B anytime they bloody well please. There are some ships into there. It's encouraging. We get 3 really good hits into the Nelson. That almost takes him out completely. I try to get a fire lit because I know he's just burned his DCP, but I'm going to lose him behind the island. So I decide, well, I'll start helping the Bliss with the Akatsuki here, whose engine is out. Blyskawica is doing really, really good work over there, and, well, the Chungmu takes care of it, actually, and so he's out. Just like that, we're only 1 ship down. We've retained our cap control. This doesn't feel quite so bad as it did maybe 3 or 4 minutes ago. Blyskawica continuing to hold his spot there. He knows that Nelson is continuing to move up. We just got to get eyes on the Nelson. Figure out where he is. I'm going to turn back. I don't want this Valkaland to surprise us from the south. There's the Nelson. Now, I'm going to check for a torpedo lead, but what's going to happen here is I'm going to, as I kind of start to lead, I'm watching the Bliss. The Bliss is actually going to fire his torpedoes instead, which kind of makes mine a waste. These are going to get there far quicker than mine, so not going to use those. And the Nelson is, in fact, going to go out right here to a brilliantly placed torpedo salvo. 600 HP on this Valkaland. Wow, we can't have that. You need to go, sir. And so he does. Bliss picks up a beautiful little double strike, and just like that, we're up 3 ships. Guys, we were down. We killed 6 straight ships now. What is even happening in this game? We're on the verge of winning. Just like that. By playing slow, playing smart, slow rolling these guys, just kind of hanging out over here and being a nuisance. We made a big impact. From bottom tier, me and the Blyskawica, believe it or not. That Bliss played an even better game than I did. What a stellar game that guy has had. So why am I kind of showing you this replay? Mainly because I wanted to talk about Z-39 a little bit. It's one of my favorite ships. But also to kind of highlight something that I see far too many destroyer players doing. And that is assuming when they zone into the game that they're not useful, they're worthless, whatever. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Always preserve your health. Always preserve your ship. As long as you're in the game, you can have an impact. And you can see here, maybe I didn't have a massive impact. Nelson might disagree with you. He got wrecked by my torpedoes, but certainly had enough of an impact to be valuable here in the late game as we're melting the sign-up, our old buddy the sign-up from earlier in the game, but he's going to go out to some Asashio torpedoes, I think. Yep. Or Chungmu torpedoes, excuse me. Wow, that turned into a win. That's actually a surprise, but it worked out. Anyway, guys, Z-39, hope you enjoyed that one. Be safe out there, stay tuned, and I'll catch you next time.